it's Ann Taylor Pittman, Executive Editor at Cooking Light. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really hope you enjoyed this segment. So I'm going to be doing 3 breakfasts that come in at under 350 calories. So I've done this topic before and you guys seem to like it, so I'm doing it again. So 350 calories just seems like a good benchmark if you're trying to eat a little bit lighter in the morning. So the 3 ideas I'll share today are quick, because it has to be quick on a busy weekday. They are very filling. I am always immediately hungry if I don't eat the right thing, so I try to make sure that these breakfasts are full of protein and good heart-healthy fats to keep you full until hopefully close to lunch. If not that, then maybe mid-morning. So I'm going to start off with a smoothie bowl. Okay, so if you're on team savory breakfast like I am, smoothies maybe are not your favorite thing. Maybe it's just me, but I do like a smoothie bowl. I don't know why. Now, there was a study that came out a couple of years ago that said the thicker your smoothie is, the more satiating it will be, meaning the longer it will keep you satisfied. So a smoothie that's thick enough to eat with a spoon, I figure is going to keep you pretty full. So I'm starting with 1/3 cup of unsweetened blueberry or pomegranate juice. You can use any unsweetened fruit juice you like. The color is going to be nicer with something that's kind of this nice red wine color. And try to choose something that's unsweetened. That will really, I'm trying to encourage everyone to knock out as much added sugar out of your day as possible. It will still be plenty sweet because there's fruit in here. So this is 3/4 cup of blueberries, fresh blueberries. I'm going to add maybe a little bit more than half to the blender. I'm going to save the other half to go on top. So if you've ever seen a smoothie bowl, you know it's all about kind of the fun decorations that you put on top. The edible decorations. Okay, then I have 1/3 cup of 2% Greek yogurt. 2% is what I keep on hand. I like 2%. I love 4%, the full fat, but the saturated fat can get a little bit high. 2% is great. If all you have is fat-free, that's fine. Use that. You just want something nice and thick and protein-rich, like the Greek yogurt is. Okay, and then I'm going to add half of a ripe avocado. Now you can definitely double this recipe to serve 2. This just serves 1, and that way you can use the whole avocado. You could also wrap the half that you're not using tightly in plastic wrap, keep the pit in it. You may get some surface browning, you can just trim it away, or if it's going into a smoothie, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so let me just add this in here. So the avocado is going to add a lot of that good heart-healthy fat that will help keep you full. It's also going to help thicken. So between the blueberries, which have a lot of natural pectin, and the yogurt. Okay, I'm going to have 3 things, I should say, among the blueberries, the yogurt, and the avocado. You're going to get a nice thick mixture here. You know what? I also have some ice that I need to grab. I'll grab that in a minute. Forgot to pull that from the freezer. Okay, let me get this going. If it's a little bit too thick, you can add some water. You could also add a little bit more fruit juice. Just know it's going to add more calories. I'm trying to open it without it completely splattering all over me. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of water.
Hey, Ann, we have a question.
Okay.
Rebecca wants to know, she doesn't like blueberries. Can she substitute raspberries or another
Absolutely.
fruit?
Raspberries would be really delicious here. They'll serve the same purpose as the blueberries, which is adding a fruit, adding fiber, and helping to thicken up the smoothie. I'm going to grab my ice. I'll be right back. Let me see if I can get this guy going. Hang on 1 second. So if you're starting with frozen berries, you don't have to add the ice. I add the ice because I like my smoothies to be, or my smoothie bowls to be cold. Whoop. It's still going when I opened it. Okay, you know what? This is really thick. So the other day when I made this and took a photo, it was not quite so thick. This just goes to show you that there are variables when you're working with fruit. Maybe this avocado is a little bit bigger. Maybe these blueberries just have thicker skins, who knows? But it's quite thick. I'm going to go ahead and add in my ice. which is completely solidified to the bowl. Okay, awesome. This is what happens when you do live demos. Okay, maybe I won't add the ice. At home, I would add some ice. Okay. Let me get this guy going. And you know what? It still needs a little bit more liquid. So if you're working with a high-powered blender, it probably won't take quite as long to get smooth. This guy is just taking a little bit longer, and I can see it. I can see that there are skins in here that have not processed, but let me just, okay. You know what? The color is not particularly great. Again, whatever variables are at play, this might be a little big. I have a wonderful person here trying to help me out with some ice. Whatever variables are at play are making this a little bit of a kind of grayish color. But the other day when I made this, it was a lovely plum color. That's okay, I'll cover it up with really pretty toppings. So you want it thick, but you don't want it so thick that the blender can't do its work. So as you've seen, I've been adding a little bit of water. I wasn't expecting to have to add quite as much, just to try to get this smooth. Still not completely smooth, but we're just going to go with it because we need to kind of keep the train moving. It does smell delicious.
And a quick question.
Great.
Could you do this in like a food processor or with a hand blender?
You could try this, yes, you could do this in a food processor. Typically, a food processor is not going to blend as smoothly as a blender. As you can see here, though, even though I'm using a blender, or as you'll see in a minute, even though I've used a blender, this did not get completely smooth. A hand mixer is not going to quite break the fruit down enough. You need something with blades that will really kind of pulverize the fruit. Okay, just imagine that that's a prettier color. Okay, can we just imagine, please? Because this is really not the most beautiful thing. But we have fun toppings, and that will kind of help the color here. So I'm going to add a little bit of my blueberries that I have left. Then I have a ½ cup of strawberries, just because strawberries are starting to show up in our farmers markets here. And they're really nice this time of year. If it's not quite strawberry season in your area, just go with whatever fruits you're finding that look good. ½ cup of sliced strawberries. So you're getting a lot of nice fresh fruit here in this breakfast. And then a tablespoon of sliced almonds that I have toasted. Toasting just brings out more flavor, makes it feel a little nuttier, and adds to the crunch. Okay, so I've covered up a lot of the ugly color of the smoothie bowl. But this is breakfast number 1. Blueberry and banana smoothie bowl. This comes in at 328 calories, and we have all these recipes on our website. 328 calories, 11 grams of protein, and 10 grams of fiber, which is wonderful. That's going to help keep you full. Everyone should try to get 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day, and this gets you to a good start. Okay, so let's see. The next breakfast I'm going to share with you is one that I absolutely am in love with. It's poached eggs on garlicky yogurt. You do have time. If you can just give me 5 minutes in the morning, you can make this breakfast. Or, you know, save it for a weekend. That's fine. It's based on a Turkish dish. It's spelled Cilbir, and I did research it, and I'm still going to mess up the pronunciation. Just bear with me. I think it's pronounced something like çilbir. So this is based on a Turkish dish. It is really delicious, and if you're on Team Savory Breakfast, as I am, it's the type of thing that's really my jam. Okay, so it starts with a poached egg. So I have here a bowl of simmering water. I think I need to get it just a little bit hotter. And to poach an egg, you just put the egg into the water for 3 minutes. That's all it takes. I have a little bit of vinegar in the water. That's going to help to sort of seize the proteins in the egg so that they don't all kind of float out into the water. It's going to kind of help keep everything pulled together. So when you're poaching an egg, you should decant, is what I call it. Decant the egg first. So I wouldn't just crack the egg directly into the water. That's going to perhaps create more flyaways in the water. If you will crack it into a ramekin or a custard cup, you can then just sort of lower the egg into the water and it will kind of retain a nice shape. So that needs to go for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to kind of keep my eye on it over here. I'm not timing anything. I'm just going to look and see when it looks about right. Okay, so like I said, this dish is poached egg on garlicky yogurt. Okay, I know this is not for the faint of heart, but I'm using raw garlic here. I'm starting with a half a cup of the 2% Greek yogurt. I'm going to do like a quarter to a half of a small garlic clove. I'm going to grate on the microplane and stir it into the yogurt. Now I understand this may be a bit much for some of you, but the flavor is so, so good. If you want a little garlic flavor, but you just cannot bear the thought of the raw garlic, you can stir in a little bit of roasted garlic, or it's probably heresy, but maybe a little garlic powder, just to get some of that allium flavor in there. And then just a little pinch of salt. Kosher salt is what I keep on hand. I'm going to stir that together. That's going to be the base for a poached egg. I'm telling you guys, this is so good. Okay. I'm watching that egg. So the main thing when you're poaching an egg is to sometimes when you put the egg in, the water may it may cool off so much that you want to crank the heat back up. Just watch that you don't end up boiling at a vigorous pace because that will sort of mangle your egg. Okay, so I'm going to do a swoop. That is the official technical term. A swoop of the garlicky yogurt, that's just going to sort of cradle that wonderful egg. And then the topping for this, I'm going to make real quick. So it's just 1 teaspoon of melted butter. And then I'm going to add to that a little bit of Aleppo pepper. So Aleppo pepper is a specialty ingredient. You may have to order it. If you don't have access to Aleppo pepper, you could use ancho chili powder. You could use a tiny amount of chipotle chili powder, which has a lot more heat. But Aleppo is so nice because it's really fruity, roasty. It has great fragrance, and it's, in this case, traditional. Let's see. Let me look at my egg here. I think he might be done. I'm going to let him go 1 more minute, maybe. Okay, so teaspoon of melted butter. I'm going to add, I don't know, maybe like a half teaspoon of the Aleppo pepper. So again, if you're using something with more spicy heat, like a chipotle, use far less. Aleppo does not have a lot of heat. It just has more complexity, more fruity notes, more roasty flavor. This is going to get drizzled on at the end. And let me show you some of the accoutrement that will go with this dinner. So I have here a piece of nice whole grain bread that I've toasted, 1.5 ounce slice, so that's a pretty hefty chunk. Go for good bread. Life is too short for bad bread. And then, because I always have leftover vegetables laying around, if I'm cooking dinner, I always cook extra vegetables so that I can either take them with my lunch or incorporate them into a breakfast. So here I have 1 cup of leftover green beans. I've just tossed them with a teeny bit of oil just to kind of give them a little new life. And here you're getting 2 servings of vegetables. It's a cup of green beans. Okay, and now I think the egg is probably good. Yeah, looks good. Just going to kind of drain it a little bit on the paper towel and then spoon it right here onto my yogurt. And it just sort of visually blends into the yogurt. It's kind of nice. And then we get this lovely chili butter that we get to to drizzle on top. Oh yeah, that is good, good stuff. So you have the garlicky yogurt. The yogurt is filling. It adds even more protein than the egg already contributes. And now for the moment that everybody always waits for with the poached egg dish. We're gonna kind of cut in, get a little bit of that yolk oozing. Oh yeah, that is good stuff. So this is a little bit of a non-traditional breakfast here, but definitely on the savory end of things. Poached egg on garlicky yogurt. That one, this breakfast, this whole plate has 346 calories, 25 grams of protein, and let's see, 6 grams of fiber. So pretty good. All right, and then the last thing to share is just a fun idea. So I am a big proponent of what I call snack dinner. Actually, my kids called it that. It's sort of a cross between a crudité platter, a cheese board, and an antipasto platter. So lots of vegetables, a dip, some cheeses, you know, snacky things. And we eat that way maybe once a week. My kids call it snack dinner. So here I give to you snack breakfast. So if you have just some fun foods laying around, and if it's a weekday and you treat yourself to a little fun breakfast like this, it just starts your day off great. So this particular breakfast contains, we have 4 of these little Castelvetrano olives, which I love, more of the strawberries, 12 strawberries, so a good serving of fruit, 8 roasted almonds, 3/4 ounce of a good cheese. I went with a 30-month aged cheddar, which is really nice. 1 egg that I have cooked to be just slightly jammy in the middle. That's the way I like my hard-cooked eggs. I'm gonna put a little pepper on that, because I love that. I'm not adding any salt because this is a fairly salty plate. And then a 1/2 ounce of prosciutto. This particular kind that I got is super thin, so 2 little slices equal 1/2 ounce. Snack breakfast. Really fun to kind of nibble on while you're watching the news or reading the paper. And this breakfast idea comes in at 329 calories and 20 grams of protein, only 4 grams of fiber. But if you were eating raspberries, like someone asked about raspberries earlier, fiber content would go up. So those are 3 really fun breakfasts. I hope you like that. If you like this type of content, let me know. If there are things that you would rather see, please let me know that also in the comments. So please share this page with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe so that you'll get notifications when we go live. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next Monday.